With technical SEO, you're mixing basic SEO knowledge with development skills. It's hard to answer any technical SEO question because everything requires one person taking a really good look at it and trying to come up with some creative solution for it. It really comes down to what you're capable of as a developer in correspondence with your knowledge of SEO. If you wanted to optimize a page for something like page speed, if I asked you what's a good way to increase page speed, can you answer that question very easily? Or do you need to ask me some questions? You're gonna have to ask me some questions. How big is the web page? How many megabytes need to be downloaded to download that web page? Let's just say that the web page you're downloading is 50 megabytes, which is a lot. Without even seeing the web page, you could just assume that it's probably a very media heavy web page. Lots of images that are probably at least 3 to 5 megabytes each, and there's a whole bunch of them on the page. So when you load the page, it adds up to 50 megabytes. That's what I would assume. So, if you ask, how do I optimize my page for page speed? Well, shrink the images down, shrink the quality of the images down, get the file size of those images from 5 megabytes to 500 kilobytes. There, you saved 90% of your loading time gone there just because of images. But there's also a lot of other things that affect page speed. A big thing is what kind of scripts are running on that page. So, like, if you have ads on your website, you are running a script that is loading those ads. It's pulling them from Google and downloading them. There is Google Analytics as a tracker that tracks, page views and clicks. So there's another script, and there's a lot of JavaScript and themes and plugins that make a web page look nice with moving things and cool effects. Those are all scripts. When you have more of that on a page, then it just makes the page load longer. So it just comes down to cutting as many things as you can without actually ruining what the page looks like. It's kind of like a fine art to do page speed optimization. And that's just one thing that you can do with technical stuff. You might load a page and it flickers and it's reloading over and over, in which case you could assume that that page is redirecting maybe to itself over and over, and it does like 2 or 3 redirects before it actually gets to the page. There's a technical issue that should be resolved. First of all, why is it redirecting a whole bunch of times? Fix that. Get it to load the page it's supposed to load. That could just be, the navigation is out of date. You just have to update the navigation. It's pointing to an old page, but that page knows about the new page, so it's redirecting. So when you click on the menu item, you're clicking an old link, but it's redirecting to the right link. So, go into your navigation and fix that link. Make it go to the page it's supposed to go to. Don't let it fix itself, because that's what you get. You get redirects. That's just scratching the surface. There's a lot more technical issues that come up with a website and things that the website is doing that's affecting the entire website's SEO. Just page speed and redirects are probably the easiest ones to go after. This kind of ties into why SEOs are paid on a month by month basis. It's not just like a one and done thing, because these kind of technical issues, they do come up over time, and it's on the SEO who you're paying to spot those things and fix them. I like to believe that if you don't hear anything from the person who you're paying to do SEO, if you don't hear anything from them, then they're doing a good job. They're monitoring your website. They're making sure everything's up and running. And even though you don't hear from them, they are tracking what's happening on your website. They have software. I have software that once a week, it scans my clients' websites and it tells me if anything's wrong. And usually you get this whole laundry list of errors, and most of them are it's negligible. You don't really have to give it attention. You can if you want, but usually once in a while there's like one big thing that's like, oh, this is really bottlenecking what's gonna work for our site. There's usually like one bigger thing that's like, hey, this needs attention, like right now. So like I'll go in and fix it, make it right. And I don't report that to anybody. I don't tell anybody, hey, I ran a scan on your site, found this error, and I fixed it. You're welcome. No, because it's something that I found when I'm just sitting by the computer and it's 11:30 at night and I'm just up late working on something, and I'll spot this and I'll say, oh hey, I need to fix that right now. It's going to take me 30 seconds, and I go and I do it, and that's it. No one has to hear about it. But the next scan that comes in, it's going to be a much cleaner scan, and the website will be healthier, and the SEO will be stronger. And it's just like a over time kind of thing. You just grow it and strengthen it and keep it in tune, keep it in shape. One thing I would argue is that some SEO companies, they don't really do anything, and they don't tell you what they're doing, which kind of goes against what I just said, which was that a good SEO, you wouldn't hear anything from a good SEO. So if your SEO is not reporting anything to you, you must feel like, you're being taken for a ride. You want to know your money is going to a good place. And I would argue, yeah, like there are some SEO companies that do charge and don't do anything, and you have no way of knowing that. You do want to get some kind of update. So basically, what I do for my clients is like a once a month sort of report that you get. If there's anything worth mentioning, it will go in that report. All the little negligible things, it's left out because, you don't need to hear that. You don't need to hear, I optimized an image on your website to load faster, just a little bit. Like you might like to hear that, but it doesn't help with moving things forward. It's just, let's just get the big things mentioned and move forward so we can keep getting back to work. It's easier to just stick to the best parts of what should be in the report, which is usually just like, here's where your keywords sit right now. Here's what the competition looks right now. Here's what we did last month. Here's what I propose we do the following month, and what we can expect going forward.